Welcome to Office Hours. I'm Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, Will and I are both from the Quiver CRM team. Now, what is Quiver? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. And our objective is incredibly simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? Now, each episode, we tackle a couple of cool items that came directly from our users who are doing just that, trying to run just a little bit more efficiently to make their lives easier. Will, have I told you how big the whiteboard in my office is? I don't mean
I
like
know you.
figuratively. I mean literally. Have I told you?
I think we have talked about it, and it's definitely your white. I mean, you've got your whiteboard. Ryan's got his whiteboard. These are popular things with the Dross brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, we're weird, but hey, we're all weird together. Yeah, it's right over there. It is, I think, 8 feet long. It's as tall as most whiteboards are tall. And not only that, at this moment, I have a handful of those 2 feet by 3 feet, like the pieces of paper with stickiness on the top that I can put
Uh-huh.
places. So I actually have things on top of my whiteboard, and it called me weird. That's fine. Again, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I know I'm weird. That's all right. I am who I am, but whiteboarding is powerful. It's so powerful. It helps me personally, it helps me get these things out of my mind into text, right? Into writing. It's more effective than typing in my mind. Like if I type something and I'm not, I can draw a big square on my whiteboard and then connect lines and draw arrows and make notes and connect things. I can calendar things out. But whiteboarding to me, specifically when it comes to the financial planning space and running my business, it is how it helps me get everything that I want to do for my clients out of my mind and onto paper. Because then I can sit on it. I can look at it the next day, later that same day, and I can figure out what I want to do. Because not criticizing other people or anything like that, but a common maybe error or fault that I see with other advisors is they jump to automation. They jump to AI. They jump to maybe the shortcut or maybe the result before they get the what. Does that make sense?
It does, and I tend to agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of technology questions that I see in the various places that we sort of follow advisors, and a lot of it is like, how do I just get AI to solve this? How do I make I need to wave a magic wand, and I'm looking for the easy way through this. And the truth is, for a lot of the work that we do as advisors, you don't like you just need a really well-defined process. You don't necessarily need AI or a bunch of different tools to solve it. You just need to sort of say, like, I move from here to here to here. And and you talk about the whiteboard. A lot of this is just not knowing how to go about documenting the process and then interacting with that documentation in a really easy way. And like a good example of this, one of the advisors that I kind of, I guess I would say a mentor as I was coming up, had like stacks of the little post-it notes in like 10 different colors, like a bunch of different colors. And he would talk about like, okay, I want to figure out how we're going to do, this particular process for these clients. And he would just start writing down like, these are the important parts. And then those post-it notes would go up on the wall, and it would be like, okay, here's the ones that are like critical. Maybe that's one color. Here's the ones that are optional. That's a different color. Here's the ones that I'm going to assign to someone else. That's a different color, but you could move them around. You could sort of say like, okay, here's the line of linearly all of this work that we want to do. And now I'm going to pick these post-it notes up and put them in different places in different orders, and like what feels right. Like, how are we going to do this? And there's this great scene from, I think the movie's called The Founder. It's the McDonald's movie. Or have you seen this movie? And they're like taping out the kitchens and drawing it all out. And then they keep moving it around and being like, how do I make this perfect? And I'm going to put all of the assembly over here and the fries over here and the milkshakes over here. It's the same thing. You just need that like visual representation sometimes of where does this little piece fit? And then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to move it and try it someplace else. And that to me, like, you can certainly do that in the whiteboarding process, but even moving like the post-it note, I loved hearing that you had the big notes on the board. Because to me, that makes it so easy to just sort of like take some of these ideas of here's some milestones or here's some really important parts of this process, and I'm going to move them around, or I'm going to move them to somebody else's. I'm going to take, this is something I used to do. I'm going to give it to my paraplanner. I'm going to give it to my CSA. Like that ability to just sort of like really easily interact with these. You're right. It's not as easy to do it digitally, or it's not as easy to do it necessarily, when you're drawing it out. sometimes it's really easy just to move these little bits of paper around.
And we're not sitting here, and I'm gonna speak for you, Will. AI is incredibly powerful. I use ChatGPT and, some of these other tools all the time. I use note takers, right? We're using this, but you can't automate something, in my opinion, until you know what you wanna automate and how you want it done. And that's really where the whiteboard comes from, right? Like, in the movie you described, Founder, right? They're building the kitchen. How are they gonna call the general contractor and tell them that they want the kitchen to look if they didn't sit there and they didn't put that tape down and they didn't walk around and simulate making the burger, making the fries, making that stuff until they got it exactly how they wanted it. Because then once they knew exactly how they wanted it, and that's our version of this would be exactly how you want an account application opened, exactly how you want to handle your yearly reviews, exactly how you want your RMD process to go. Because once you know exactly how you want something, then you can leverage the heck out of technology. This is how it gets done. I'm going to build that workflow perfectly. This is when it gets done. I'm going to use AI or Quiver or my process automation tool to then kick that off exactly when I want it to get kicked off for the exact people that I wanted to get kicked off for. And I would say some of the firms that maybe are a little more stressed, a little less maybe in tune with their operations, they've skipped putting the tape on the ground. They've skipped the whiteboarding session. I mean, we've seen it. I'm not gonna pick on smaller firms, but it definitely is trends towards the smaller firms. The solo advisor, the two-person, the three-person firm, they don't like operations. The owner tends to be the rainmaker who built the firm, and they just wanna work with their clients, and they maybe skip that part. And they get on Quiver, and they immediately ask us, "What AI tools can I use to automate this? What can I do for this? What can I do for that?" And it's like, "Well, how do you want this done?" And they ask us, "Well, you have templates." I'm like, "Well, yes, we have IRA workflow templates and RMD workflow templates, but are they how you want it done, right? Are you going to copy Burger King or are you going to create your own kitchen, right? That's basically what it is. So I cannot stress how important that initial part is I love that, putting the tape on the ground, whiteboarding it, because once you do that, trust me, that's the hard part. The rest is so easy.
Well, and I think what you really learn from that too is what is the data that I need in order to be able to move this process forward? I mean, I remember when I was working at a really large firm, one of the biggest issues that we faced was move money. And the reason it was so problematic is because advisors would take like a really poorly, send $5,000 to this client. And that would be what hits the CSA's desk. And the CSA is looking at this being like, from where to where? Is it an ACH? Is it a wire? Like there's no information with that thing. And so you're looking to like automate it. You're looking to, even whiteboard the process of like, going back to the McDonald's metaphor, like, are we making, McRibs or are we making Big Macs? Like those are very different things. And if you don't have the right data when you go to assemble that sandwich, like if you don't have the bun and the meat and like everything that you need, it's not going to go well. And so even like as you're, you know, stepping through this process manually, whiteboarding this process, just being mindful of like what data do I need in order to move this forward? That's a huge aspect of this that really simplifies everything down as you go. Like if it's, I'm doing move money. I got to know, is it a wire? I got to know, is it an ACH? Okay, I'm doing a QCD. If I don't have the name of the charity, it's a non-starter. If I don't have the address, I can't move forward. Like I've got to have that information. And so as you sort of like are whiteboarding this, sort of making notes of like what data is just optional, what data is required. That's a huge aspect of this too, in that you're going to sort of like just iron all of the wrinkles out of your process by knowing like I have to have this data in front of me in order to be able to do what I need to do for this particular thing. And I think that's where people get sort of stuck sometimes too, is they'll throw it all into I'll just put all this in a note field, it's fine, where that can come back to haunt you.
100%. Yeah, there's no shortcuts. But the beautiful part about it is once you do that, you will never get asked a question about it again. You spend even if it takes you an entire day to build one workflow for Move Money, and you work with your operations team and yourself, and you get that communication. And by the way, it's not going to take you a day; it's going to take you a half hour. But even if it took you a whole day, imagine knowing every time a client needs money, you put that request in the system, and you never get asked about it again.
Yeah.
That's
And
worth a
not
lot.
only that, but like as you build the first one and it's hard, then you build the second one, it's not quite as hard. You build the third one, it's a little bit easier even then. Like we're not good at this just intuitively. We're good at it because we've done it so many times. Here's how to do an RMD one. Here's how to do a Roth conversion. Like you just get better at it as you go. And so
And
the
it's
practice
addicting.
of it.
It's addicting. Getting it off my plate It's
Yeah.
insane. Like it's addicting knowing that if I document a process or a workflow adequately, communicate that to my mom correctly, knowing that I never have to touch that again, it's freeing. It's awesome, right? Like I documented quarterly correspondence. We send birthday cards, a handful of letters a quarter. I have to review all those. I'm the chief compliance officer. I got a DocuSign packet yesterday. True story. And it was all of the correspondence. And I totally forgot about it because I fully documented how she needs to do it. I don't remember how. I just look at it now and I have to review everything to make sure it's fine and sign it. Like it's addicting. It's addicting. I could rant about it all day. It's addicting. Uh, but that's a wrap. Good stuff as always. If you are a Quiver user, and you're having maybe you're getting stuck, right? Maybe you don't know what to draw on your whiteboard, or maybe you need a recommendation on how large of a whiteboard you should buy. Pop into office hours every Wednesday. We're here to help. I'm here to help you master, whatever feature that is. If you're not a Quiver user, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but don't worry. It's not too late. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Will. Schedule a demo and see what Quiver can do for you and for your practice.